Hi there, studio families. I thought I'd take this Thanksgiving week of Parenting Tip Tuesday and spend a couple minutes talking about how we can instill thankfulness and gratefulness into the hearts of our children. Thankfulness is such a wonderful antidote to the entitlement attitude that we so often see in children and even in adults. And it even is a way that we can talk about the root issue of whining and complaining, which we will spend some time talking about some practical ways that we can help our kids communicate in different ways besides whining. But I really do think it comes down to a heart attitude. And I think that the more we can teach our kids about thankfulness and gratefulness, the less that we'll see them complaining and whining. So let's talk about some ways that we might be able to instill that into our kids, even from the time they're babies, like 6 months old. I would encourage you to teach them the sign for thank you. It's a very simple sign. It's just your hand on your chin, and then you just do this motion with your hand. And I would start teaching them that from the time they're 6 months old, and likely they won't pick it up till they're probably 10 months, 11 months, even a year before they start using it. But I think it's really a great thing for them to start learning the value of that word and the context of that word. Then for our toddlers and our preschoolers who have sometimes a really hard time accepting something that they don't want, particularly a color of something they don't want, or learning how to take turns and be patient, how do we teach them the graciousness of saying thank you? And this is actually something that we practice in our kinder music classrooms very gently, understanding that this is a process and it does take practice. But I would encourage you at home to talk with your kids in non-conflict moments about how to graciously accept something that is not actually maybe what they wanted. So instead of getting the blue bowl at breakfast this morning, let's talk about what would happen if I gave you the red bowl. Can we practice saying thank you, and then talk about what might happen if they decide to throw a fit or they decide to whine. We'll certainly be discussing that as well. But just practice, make it a game, make it role play, how to say thank you even if it's not exactly what you wanted. I think that is such a wonderful skill to start instilling into our kids as well. Another idea for gratefulness is certainly a reflection at the end of the day. I think we as parents can talk to our kids about what we're thankful for and then start asking them about reflecting on their day as well. But I would encourage you not to always only talk about the things that made us feel good or what was easy, but even to start thinking about how we can be thankful for the hard things in our lives and the challenges, and that hard things aren't always bad things, and that we can be grateful for those as well without belittling the impact of that in our lives. So I would maybe start thinking about talking with your kids about being thankful for the wonderful things and even the hard things. And lastly, service is huge, I believe, in being able to expand our perspectives and our worldviews and understand a little bit more about how other people experience life. I think that is really key to becoming thankful and grateful for what we have and being expansive with what we have been gifted with. So there's lots of different ways in our community that you can serve. I'm sure you've got some ideas already, but I would encourage you, even with your little kids, to start thinking of ideas of ways that you can serve. The holiday time is pretty easy to be able to find some things to do that. And we, even at the studio, have some ideas for you. So on December 8th, we're going to go Christmas caroling at Felician Village. All families are invited to join us for that, and even the youngest kids. The residents especially love babies and toddlers, and so we would encourage you to put that on your calendar, and we're going to all go to Felician Village, and then the studio is happy to provide a lunch for you guys afterwards. And so join us for that. And then lastly, another service opportunity, or not really service, but actually to thank you for your support of our outreach work to Ethiopia last summer. We'd like to have a dessert to be able to talk to you about the impact that you made through your donations of clothing and finances, and even just prayers and thoughts as we went to Ethiopia last summer. We feel like we'd really just love to show you what kind of impact that had. So Leslie Edwards is going to be opening her home, her beautiful home in Two Rivers, for anyone who would like to hear a little bit more about our trip and just enjoy some dessert with us. So that's November 30th from 7 to 9. For adults, you can bring your spouse, leave your kids at home, and we'd love to have you join us for that. So just some ideas for you on helping our kids become thankful and grateful and instilling that heart attitude in them that will last a lifetime. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.